Brian from I Prevail, here joining us for the Rockstar Football Update. I think that we are all sad Lions fans, right? If you're in Detroit and you're a fan of the Lions, Dan Campbell, I feel like embodied all of us in the post-game press conference. Man, like, what is going on with these Lions?
It's so tough. I don't want to say same old Lions because I really don't think it's the same old Lions. Even though we're 0-5, it's been, kind of a train wreck of a season so far in terms of, the win-loss record. Because I will say, the team fights really hard, which I think we all can appreciate. It's just losing on 55-yard field goals and then a 66-yard field goal in the Baltimore game. I don't know if you can have any worse luck kind of to start a season going 0-5, but I truly do believe Dan Campbell is the dude that's going to right the ship. And like you said, his emotion kind of in the post-game press conference, I think all Lions fans can kind of look at that and say, hey, with our previous coaches, we haven't really had that, especially, I don't want to knock people too hard, but the last coaching regime, I'll say this, we could go 0-17 this year, and I'm having way more fun than in the last couple of years. So at least the guys are trying, and at least, there are definitely some bright spots on the team.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and that's kind of been the theme of the show. We're heading into week 6, and this is a new show, and our co-hosts are Ryan Armani from Fox 2, Braylon Edwards, who formerly played for U of M, the Browns, the Jets, and they kind of have that same sentiment that it's not the same old Lions, but at the same time, it's kind of heartbreaking to watch what's happening. But it's more fun than it has been in the past. And Dan Campbell, he at least, it feels like, shares the same emotions that the players feel, that the fans feel. Whereas I think that, Matt Patricia, just being the most recent former coach, he just didn't seem to share any of that emotion, right?
I just, I hate to say he didn't care about the guys, but the way I'd watch him in press conferences and stuff, he seemed very just kind of focused on himself, where I think Dan Campbell just loves these players so much. And you can tell they want to play for him. I mean, the Vikings game, I think looking at all the players we had hurt, because that's another thing people don't realize is we are literally the most injured team in the NFL. And then I just saw Frank Ragnow's out for the season now. So, people don't really realize how much adversity the team's already had to go through. But even to be competitive in that Vikings game, I think was such a big win. It's just such a shame. Right when they went for the 2-point conversion and got it, I'm like, I think there might be a little too much time left on the clock. But I'll say this, at the end of the day, like you said, Dan Campbell seems to be a guy that just people want to play for, and people, are excited to kind of see what can happen in the future. Because, this season, I don't think we're making the playoffs. Obviously, this isn't a Super Bowl team anytime soon, but all these guys have to go through kind of some of these losses. And, I think it's good that they're feeling it now, or next year or 2 years from now, we'll kind of be battle tested in these situations. Because that's the one thing you can't or you can say about this team is they just fight so hard. That's something with previous teams. I feel like sometimes you get to see them give up, where we could be down. I mean, I was at the season opener this year against the Niners, and obviously it looked like we were super down and out, and we had a chance to tie the game up in the last possession. So the team will never stop fighting. That's one thing I think you gotta look forward to with Dan Campbell and the guys.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate watching that. Like like you said, it's so much more fun to watch this team not give up in the fourth quarter, and even in previous seasons when we were winning going into the fourth quarter, and they still gave up the win, which is what has happened. So I guess as a fan, as a football fan, as a sports fan, and clearly a Detroit sports fan, what would you say the Lions need to do to get their first win?
I mean, honestly, I really think it can happen against Cincinnati. The biggest thing, I think, that the D plays the way they played against the Vikings, we have a great shot to get a win against Cincinnati. Just with, the defensive line has been playing amazing. I mean, our cornerbacks are, we have so many guys injured, but we have a guy named Jerry Jacobs who started last week, and he's an undrafted free agent, and he's out there playing like a first or a second round pick right now. So I think the biggest thing is staying consistent. And then on offense, we just have to convert in the red zone. If we get the ball inside the 25 or the 20, just give me points. Even if they're field goals, we just got to put points on the board. No more turnovers. And, looking at the Cincinnati team, it was funny because, of course, I was watching. I had Red Zone on one TV and the Lions, so I got to see, of course, Green Bay beat Cincinnati, with a field goal, and then we get beat by a field goal, of course. But I'm hoping that this week, I think with Cincinnati coming to us, being back at home, and I think these guys are hungry. I think after that loss, they're going to come out on fire. And I think all it takes is just a consistent game plan and playing, all 4 quarters. We can't come out and start slow in the first quarter. We can't come out in the second half and kind of like the Green Bay game and kind of fall apart. We just got to put 4 quarters together. And I think this Cincinnati game could be one to circle as finally getting our first win. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's quite a few people who share that thought. Think this can be the game. And watching the end of the Packers game, I've got a group message with some friends, and it was, what was it? 5 missed field goals with just over 2 minutes left. I think that was record breaking. And I, of course, picked the Bengals to win. And my buddy texts me and he goes, listen, I'm watching this Packers-Bengals game and I'm watching 2 teams that are actively trying to lose. Like, what is happening?
I just want someone to miss a field goal against us. There were 14 extra points missed this weekend. And I go, but yet the Lions lost on a 55-yarder and a 66-yarder. Like,
only
I guess Detroit, we just can't have luck. But hey, I think all the teams are coming out. The Lions are I promise you, we are going to be good in a couple of years. And you got the Pistons, Tigers, and the Red Wings all. I think the city for sports, we're finally getting this turnaround here that I think will get the whole city kind of revved up, and hopefully the teams can kind of feed off each other.
Well, yeah, because you're a big Pistons fan as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Big basketball fan?
Yeah. You know me, pretty much everything with Detroit. I feel like I live and die by the games. But yeah, with the Pistons and Cade Cunningham and just, all these new GMs and coaches coming in for the teams too, I think have just kind of reset the cycle. And like I said, I hope they all feed off each other, and hopefully we can have 4, because all 4 teams have been down for a minute now. So, man, it would be nice to have 4 teams in the playoffs, in one consecutive year. That's my dream. That's my dream.
I feel you. I'm a huge sports fanatic growing up. My grandpa worked at the Joe. He worked at Tiger Stadium. So like I share that, and I can only imagine like what would happen to this city if we had 4 champion contending teams over the next year.
Because it's a sports city. We all know that. I think we just, we've been down for so long with so many teams. I think that it takes one to start picking up. And I feel like the Pistons did that last year. And I feel like the Tigers did that this year too. Everybody's kind of outperforming expectations. So before you know it, who knows, maybe the Wings and the Pistons can secure a playoff spot this year. And then who knows, maybe the Lions will kind of surprise us over the next couple of weeks too and start racking up some wins together.
I would certainly be okay with that. Well, Brian, thank you so much for talking football. If it's okay, I know that, I Prevail, you guys were supposed to do the whole wedding thing on the stage, which we had to postpone. And if you don't mind, what's the status with I Prevail? I'm sure you guys I know you're getting ready to hit the road and to do some things. And what's going on with you guys?
We're grinding. We've essentially been grinding since the day the pandemic started, when we got home from Europe and flew in from Amsterdam, where we pretty much said, all right, we don't know where kind of life's going to take us, but let's start writing this new record. So we've been working on this new record now for pretty close to a year and a half. And I'm actually in the studio right now. I can hear the guys in the other room kind of talking about stuff, but we're close. We're definitely getting to a point where I feel pretty confident that this record is very close to completion. And, I can't really say when new music will come out, but it's definitely sooner than later, I'll say. And
Awesome.
We're definitely making progress in terms of just all the songs I feel like we have. This is an album that we're very, very excited about. And, I'm taking some inspiration too from watching the Lions lose. Kind of gets me angry sometimes. So you might hear a few more heavy songs than you've ever heard from I Prevail.
Maybe we can send them over. We can send them over to Dan and be like, listen, from one Detroiter to a guy representing.
I love it.
Let this fire you up.
Let's make it happen.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, we feel good. We're really excited. And yeah, I think our first show back next year is Shiprock too. So it'll be fun to get on a ship for 6 days, play a couple shows. And then I think we have Europe, and then eventually America will be announcing a big tour here not too long from now. So things are coming. They're definitely coming.
Awesome. Well, good luck with all of that. Just real quick, you mentioned Shiprocked, which I believe you've played before, right?
Yep, one other time.
Which to me is like, so you go to like Rock on the Range, and there's Louder Than Life, and there's these big outdoor festivals where everyone's dressed in all black, and we're, the rock fists are up, and it's like this dirty rock show. And then when I think of like a cruise ship, all I picture is just a bunch of rock dudes with like black bathing suits, and you know what I'm saying, like laying out on the.
Far off. It's definitely it's a bunch of rockers everybody's drunk off their ass. Everybody's just having a good time. The only thing about it that I'll say is hard for musicians, sometimes obviously the ship will be rocking. So we
Sure.
played a show one night on top of the ship. So not only was like all the mist coming in, so the stage was just super wet. So I ended up falling on my ass. It was pretty funny. But also the ship's moving back and forth. So literally, like as you're playing, it's a pretty wild experience. But it's definitely something I'd recommend to anybody out there, whoever wants to take a 6 or 7 day vacation, just kind of get away. It's, you know, a bunch of bands, a bunch of food, a bunch of just good times, and a bunch of events too. I remember last time we did we played Family Feud with Papa Roach, and the
Oh, that's
whole
awesome.
everybody filled out a room and watched it. So yeah, it's a great time. I definitely would recommend it to anybody, you know, that, don't get me wrong, I love traditional festivals and
Sure.
stuff, but Ship Rock's just a little bit different, a little more, you get a little more rowdy there for sure.
Well, yeah, it's like a cross between wearing Hawaiian shirts and rock and roll.
Exactly.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much. Like I said, for talking football with me and for giving us the update on I Prevail. Good luck with everything. Can't wait to see you guys back on stage here in the Motor City. And go Lions. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's get the win this week. We're going to make it happen.
All right. Thank you, Brian. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.